Hey, good afternoon. It's Thursday, August 18th. Thanks so much for joining me in Everyday Talks 24/7. It's great to have you here. This evening, I want to talk about, again, curiosity, because I think it's something that is seeped into our DNA as a people and unfortunately as a church. And it's bringing huge destruction. It's capable of bringing great joy when it's used the way God intended it. But when it's used in the way that so much of our education, so much of folks in the world around us, in terms of being driven by their own desires, when curiosity is used in those ways, it's capable of horrific devastation. The American Heritage Dictionary defines curiosity as a desire to know or learn. And that's all well and good. But the purpose then becomes, why do I want to learn? Why do I want to know? In an abstract from the article for the American Psychological Association from 2018, it's called Curiosity in Schools. And quote, curiosity is essential for scientific discovery and innovation. And more universally, it is a natural and irrepressible characteristic of young children. That's true. But again, why are we curious? Are we curious to find out what God has for us? Or are we curious to find out what we want for ourselves? See, that's where the devastating trap, the quicksand of curiosity comes into play. In Genesis 1, we read this. God said to Adam and Eve, and he blessed them, be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth, govern it, reign over the fish in the sea, the birds in the sky, and all the animals that scurry along the ground. The wonder of that moment is almost impossible for us to grasp. These first humans were given by God a mandate to rule over the entire earth, to occupy, to fill it, to go everywhere as image bearers of God, following his command, his direction, with him as their God and King. I can't even imagine anything more exciting or more wonderful or more thrilling than that. And this is where this image-bearing, innate desire for curiosity to find things out, only from God's perspective, is to find things out so we can bring honor to God, just to enhance his reputation in whatever task that you're involved in. Again, mind-blowing, wonderful. All the aspects of what it means to be human we're given by God this beautiful mandate to go and just seek it out to the full, to bring honor to his name. But the contrast to that then we see and that's mission-driven. That's what I talked about yesterday. And there are constraints and blessings, but it's under the rule of God. People, you and me, are protected by that. But then we see just in Genesis 11, at the story of the Tower of Babel, a story I think we need to be more familiar with. These folks are speaking the same language. This is after the flood. They are impressed with themselves, so they say, come, let's make bricks and bake them thoroughly. Because in that region they use bricks instead of stone and tar for mortar. Then they said, come, let us build a city with a tower that reaches to the heavens, so that we may make a name for ourselves. Otherwise we will be scattered over the face of the earth. You see how this is in direct contradiction to the plan and purpose of God. They were curious to see what they could do. And we know from many of the ancient archaeological findings in Egypt and other places, early man was capable of just building amazing things. So this tower probably had, even by today's standards, would have been mind-blowing. But God stopped them because they were about making a name for themselves. Because their only interest in being curious is to find out how can we make ourselves better? How can we enhance our reputation instead of God's reputation? And this self-driven curiosity, not mission-driven, but self-driven, the only constraints then are bowing to the will of humans and their own desires. Not to the will of God, but to the will of humans. So this leads us to the domination of empires, by empires and nations, and the cruelty that comes. Pleasure becomes a gateway to lust, to sexual exploitation, substance abuse, and lack of satisfaction. All because we're curious for the wrong things. And then, sadly, it leads to broken marriages and families because people are not about trying to honor God. They are curious, desirous of finding what brings pleasure to themselves. Instead of pursuing the wisdom of God, instead of remembering the mandate, where we do everything, as Colossians says, in the name of the Lord, with gratitude to Him. The folks of Babel had no gratitude to God whatsoever. The proper response to the wrong kind of curiosity is to seek wisdom. That's why the Proverbs say, even though it costs you everything you have in chapter 4, acquire wisdom. Because wisdom will keep curiosity from bringing devastation. And have curiosity be something that brings honor to God. And that will bless you and me. See, we were curious, could we make an atomic bomb, a nuclear weapon? And we could. Have we been blessed by that? We've been curious, can we do sex better than what the Bible says? How's that been working out for us? Can we do families better? Can we do life better? Can we do things on our own better? We're curious about that. And thrown off the constraints of God. And look at where it's brought us. Parents, help your young children to understand that being curious for your own desire, as so much of education is about, is devastating and destructive. The joy of curiosity comes when we connect ourselves to the mandate of God to occupy this world, to do all the great things that we could do so that God is honored. Again, please continue to think seriously with me about this issue of curiosity. It's capable of such great joy when it's done for being curious to bring honor to God. But when it's bring curiosity to bring honor for ourselves, the devastation is horrific and lasting. Let's do it all for the glory of God and explore the wonderful world that He has for us. And that's the thought for this day. Again, continue to give me your thoughts and feedback. Check us out everydaytalk247.com. If you haven't subscribed, turn on post notifications. These videos will come right to you. And Lord willing, we'll see you tomorrow. Again, thanks so much for being here. You have a great evening. Bye-bye.